Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Fire Damage Profits. It's your guy, Elijah. I and my beautiful partner, Jennifer Coronado.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another weekly training. Today, we're going to be talking about a really good topic. I feel like, especially for everyone who is just getting started, who's getting into a journey of real estate investing, or you have already been in the real estate investing space. Today, we're going to be talking about overcoming your fear in this space and becoming a trusted advisor. And we're going to be sharing some tips that through our stories, and specifically Elijah has a really good story to share. We hope that you can take a lot away from that and, just get some self-awareness on where those fears are showing up and what that looks like. Right, Elijah?
Yeah, being able to fail forward to conquer your fears is a great concept. It's really, really empowering, especially to a lot of you who may just be starting out, who haven't seen the big checks, you haven't seen the consistent deal flow, but you see a lot of no's, you see a lot of L's, and like, man, is this working? Should I even be trying to do this? Well, there might be some things that you're doing that's kind of impeding your growth, impeding your success. So I think today was going to be really valuable for you. So really make sure you just lock in, be ready to learn, laugh, chill with us. And like I said, we want to make sure it's inspiring and helpful. So let's get into this, Jenny. Isn't it cool if we get into this? I want to help out our people here. I know we still got to get packed up. We got Florida tomorrow. We got to dip out of Arizona, but I want to make sure we lock in. We just serve the people the way we're supposed to.
Let's get it.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's lock into this. So let's just talk a little bit about, before we do that, if you guys can help us out, make sure obviously you like it. Make sure you share this in other groups. If you think somebody needs to hear this, tag them. Go ahead and take a moment, tag it, share it, let people know that, hey, we're doing this to serve people. We just want to be givers. We want to be go-givers. Me and Jennifer both rock with from the attitude of servitude. So if you see somebody who maybe hasn't got all the wins that you know they could, if you know anybody's out there who might be struggling to, take to the next level, make sure you share this with them, tag them right now, let them know, hey, this message is for them. All right. So let's get started. So I want to take us back. A little bit. All right. Come on back with me. 17 years ago, we're going back in 2004. So, you met me when I had braids, Jenny. Yeah, you met me when I had braids. Yeah. So what Jenny saw.
I wasn't a fan of them, to be honest.
What you say, Jenny? Go ahead.
I was not a fan of them. Hey. I think you look better with that on. That's what I'm saying.
Salute. All right, we're being a little better demographics with it, But at the time, I just got fresh out. I'm 21 years old. I'm fresh out of doing club promotions, concert promotions. So you know what? The girls at the club love my braids, but that's not where I was trying to go. I was like, I'm not like where my life is going. I want to really take real estate serious. I went to like 4 different junior colleges. I'm going to colleges to try to hook up with girls, not trying to get a degree. And so I realized I'm wasting time in college. I'm wasting time working for people. Club promotion is cool, but I'm still broke. I get to go to clubs. Yeah, I get the bottles, but I can't even take them out to dinner because I'm broke. So I'm like, you know what? Let's really get real with this real estate stuff. Let's get serious with this real estate stuff, right? So as I'm getting serious with it, as I'm taking myself like, all right, this is what I really need to be doing here. This is what I really want out of my life. I start to realize, you know what? I got to make money. I got to do the real estate at a bigger level. And so as I started knocking on doors, as I started making calls, guess what grips me?
What grips you?
Fear. Fear grips me. So yes, why do you feel afraid? What do you have to be afraid of? Well, do you understand how many teachers, friends, and frenemies I had who said, Elijah, what? You about to do real estate? Bro, you got braids, you're a black man, you don't got no college degree, you got a cracked out Toyota Camry mother of pearl with a cracked windshield, you can't buy no house. What are you doing? You trying to go to jail? And so these are the things that people have told me before I got real estate. People are saying as I'm doing real estate. And so as I'm going through my journey, as I'm knocking on doors, I mean, after get hung up on, people are slamming doors in my face. I'm like, whoa, maybe they're right. Maybe I am a failure. Maybe I'm a fraud. Maybe this not going to work out for me. And so as I'm having these thoughts, and this fear is starting to not only be once in a while, but it's becoming more frequent. So now as I'm going to doors, I feel my hand get all clammy, shortness of breath, and I'm knocking on a door, and as I'm talking to one person, instead of trying to find out what the real problem is, I'm just kind of speeding through my spiel, just trying to hurry up to get to the no, and because I know they're going to tell me no, I'm not going to take these serious anyways, so what's the point? Let me just hurry up and get no, so I can go on to the next door. And I started literally self-sabotaging myself because of the fear of what these people might say to me might make everything what everybody told me beforehand was true. So that might be what's happening to some of you out there. You might be reliving the thoughts what your parents told you, what your teachers told you, your ex-girlfriend, boyfriend might have told you why you're not going to be successful. And now that you're getting hung up on, doors slamming on you, you could start reliving that fear. And what's even worse than living the fear is making decisions based out of fear. And nobody was telling me about this. Nobody was helping me. And so nobody really kind of walked me through a lot of this, Let me back up.
I want to step in for a second. So, I mean, you just went over your story. You got started. You were wasting your time in college. You get into real estate very young, 21. A lot of people thought they didn't take you serious because you had braids at the time. You were kind of a party guy. He was doing club promotions. And I think because we kind of skipped over the fear part, and because a lot of people don't think it's fear when they are making phone calls and taking action, and they're making calls, but they're not necessarily feeling confident, or they're not necessarily doing the things it takes to actually be successful. How did you notice, or like, how can we get more clear with what is that fear? How does it show up on your day-to-day life when you're becoming a real estate investor?
I think the fear shows up in the doubt. Fear leads to doubt. You're doubting yourself. You're doubting is it going to work. You're doubting is marketing plays. You start making worse decisions, and so making worse decisions because of this doubt. Because of this fear, you stop trying as hard, you start take slack in certain areas, and then you start taking that doubt, and then that doubt leads to self-limiting belief, and that self-limiting belief is start perpetuating that fear that you were going to be a failure the whole time. Everything that happened in the past ended up being that same fear, and so that's what happened to me. I just know myself. Like I said, like Elijah, you're a little too short. They're gonna look at you like you don't have no big pockets over there. Look at those legs. You can't run. You can't run to the bank. So I'm like, hey, I might be too short. I might be too. My skin color might not be right. I don't have the money. They might realize I never did a deal before, and they might call me out. I might go to jail because
we're going through those quickly, but that's basically what I wanted to see. I know a lot of the people that we start working with, that we see progress, especially like our students, but in general, one of the hardest parts when you haven't done a deal or a specific deal, it's too easy to think about all the worst case, and more importantly, that you won't be able to follow through on it. Whether you do get the contract under contract, whether you do get the buyer, that something is going to happen, that it is not going to go through. Because, I mean, we talked about how fear shows up in imposter syndrome, in doubt, in self-sabotaging, when you're making that call, right? You might just be waiting for them to say no versus expecting them to say yes. And that sounds crazy. What are you guys talking about? When I'm making a call, I'm hoping they say yes. But this is something that, again, 17 years in the business, right? 6-7 years for me. And it is the biggest deal killer out there. It is fear and the self-doubt, the self-sabotage that comes with it, not always because you think you're going to fail, but even when you do succeed, will I be able to live up to this, or will all the voices and everybody who doubted me be right about it? Which is what I'm hearing from you, what you're sharing, Elijah, that was the fear you had to overcome over time. And we're going to talk about the 6-figure deal that we just closed. I know a lot of people are tuning in to hear more about that, but this is a very key element we wanted to share with Elijah's story, because how many of you have felt that before you made that call, or even while you were making that call, where there was still some self-doubt, there was still some self-limiting beliefs there. And now we're going to talk about some tips to overcome that, specifically in real estate and also in the niche when it comes to fire damaged properties, because there's also a lot of fear with investors when it comes to approaching these deals.
And so before we keep moving on, if you specifically, any of you guys have ever, especially starting out at any point of your career, I don't care if you're starting right now or you've been in the game for a minute, when you're starting out, if you ever once experienced fear, self-doubt of any sort, put one in the comments for me. I want to see who's out here. It could have just been me. It could, or maybe it was just me. I don't know. But I think there might be more of us out there. If you have felt that there are other people who experience this doubt, who experience this disbelief, who had this fear that it's not going to work out, and started self-manifesting the exact opposite of what you wanted to receive. So put one in the comment box. Let me see who's out there with me. Who else was doing it? Kip, I know it's with you too. Thanks, sir. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. And I know there's other people out here. If you watch this and you see, there's more than just us. It's all of us are experiencing at some level. I'm sharing you my journey, that this $100,000 check that we're about to share and to go over with you would never happen if I didn't get real with what's going on. What am I doing to self-sabotage myself? How am I letting my decisions being made by my fears versus all my desires, right? And I think that's a big part. That's hard for people to really see and really be very real with themselves, that, hey, I'm never going to get past myself if I don't get real with myself first,
Well, and we're going to go over some more of tips on how to acknowledge, like how to become aware of those fears and how they might be controlling your decision making. They might leaving you, keeping you in your comfort zone. And right now, where we're at with the pandemic, where we have access to all the information out there, we all can be doing what we're doing, right? Which is, real estate investing is very low entry. Anyone can go out, get provide an offer and find a buyer. What we do is simple stuff. There's a lot of videos out there. It's not groundbreaking. Now, when it comes to fire damage, we have very unique strategies in a specific niche that most people don't know about. So that's what separates us. That's what allows us to be able to get deals that most people aren't getting. But at the end of the day, we still have to wake up every single day, and we have to be committed to doing the thing that everyone else is doing, and we have to be able to execute. And, after you do it so many times, that fear that most people have, we don't have that anymore because it's part of our daily process. However, when you're getting started, and even as you're moving into the next level, like just getting into real estate developments, if you guys have been seeing his stories, he's getting into real estate. That is a new comfort zone. So that means he has to face that fear of, getting into developments, the risk associated, all of that. But no one talks about that. Most people just see the checks. We just did a post of $100,000 check for a deal that we've been working on over a year now. It was a follow-up. Elijah and I want to go see the property. We were able to help this lady with her property, and we got it all taken care of, and we have a 6-figure now. I think the post probably has 700 likes now, right? So everyone loves to see the success. Everyone loves to see the checks. And we're here to not only share with you the good, the how we got the deal, but also what is it going to take for you? Because what we get paid doesn't pay your bills, right? Well, our checks don't do anything for you. So where you're at right now, what we know is that if you're not overcoming fear, at least becoming aware of how it's showing up in your life and in your business, that you're never going to get in front of this type of deal if you don't recognize that. So we're going to share a couple of tips, Elijah. So let's talk about self-awareness. Now, when you saw you were making calls, you were doing a door knocking, you were doing all of this, what were some of the things that you become aware of that you would like for people who are watching to become aware of when they're in their day-to-day of how fear is showing up, and then how can they overcome that?
Good question. I love it. I love it. And man, you guys, I'm just taking myself back, just thinking of those first days. Remember, I mean, it's 122 degrees sometimes out here. I got braids. I got braid juice dripping in my eyes, burning my eyes, trying to knock on doors. And the first thing I think is a self-assessing is just get tuned in to the station. Get tuned in. What are those thoughts you're saying? I found myself saying, hey, they're not going to trust you, bro. Look at you. Look at your braids. Look, you got fuzzy wuzzies over here. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to believe in you. So what I realize is that, you know what? I don't want to keep telling myself that. I don't want to keep feeling like this. It's not helping me. And so and don't get me wrong, one day it started. After doing that for about 2 months of going knocking on doors, making phone calls, oh man, they're gonna hang up on me. Here it comes. Hello, man, click. Oh, who's gonna hang up on me? As I'm thinking these things, I'm literally manifesting the exact experience I don't want to have happen to me. So after going about 2 months of this, I started getting fed up with it. I'm like, no, why I keep telling myself this? This is not helping me. A, I don't feel better about it. B, I'm literally making myself more scared and more anxiety in my chest. And so I'm coming up being weird and having off energy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop telling myself that. And every time, so what I did for myself, after reading Secrets of the Millionaire Mind book, all right, it made me self-assess of my programming and my thoughts. And so what I did, I got a rubber band. I had a rubber band, and anytime I had a negative thought at the door, I'll just snap myself. And that made me aware of, hey, that thought is not self-serving me, it's self-defeating me. And so because once I became aware that, at first I got aware that, hey, I don't like this thoughts anymore. And this is hurting me. It's not helping me. That's the first thing I did. Then the second thing is I'm like, all right, well, how do I start checking these thoughts? How do I at least make sure I'm saying, nope, that thought doesn't serve me. I do not accept that thought. So I can at least put the stop on it because it is happening rapidly, especially when you try to stop it. It's like, oh yeah, this is a habit now. No, don't try to stop me. So by me putting on the rubber band and me snapping myself every time, it made me bring up those thoughts to the top and say, no, that's not part of my thought process anymore. That's not part of me anymore. As I did that, it took probably about a solid month, honestly, guys. It took me a solid. So now, 3-4 months of me doing it, a month or two of actually being aware of it, trying to do something about it, then reading a book. It took me about another month of me implementing. So now I'm about 6-7 months into this. Now I'm snapping myself, my wrist be all red sometimes. It's because I'm doing this because I know nobody's coming to save me. Nobody told me about this, and nobody's coming later on. And so as I started doing that, as I started snapping myself and I realized those thoughts aren't helping me, I stopped having those thoughts, and then I started move forward. I started taking more action. I started making more calls. I gained more confidence because as I'm talking with people, I realized those thoughts I'm thinking, like, oh, they're gonna know that they're gonna know that you're not real. They're gonna know that you haven't done deals. I started realizing that these people didn't care about that. They just cared that I could really provide a real solution. Can I really deliver what I've said I'm going to do? Am I empathizing with them? And as I'm having these conversations, the conversation is starting to go longer. People invite me to sit on the house. People are saying, hey, let's follow up a call. Let me talk with my partners. As I'm doing these things, I'm starting to gain more confidence because what am I doing? I'm failing forward. I'm not saying, hey, I didn't get one contract yet. But my confidence is growing. The conversation I'm having with myself, like, hey, I'm that closer. Hey, this might be the deal. Versus they're never gonna do this deal. Hey, this might be the deal. I'm getting closer. So as I started doing that, failing forward, I didn't need a rubber band anymore. I started filling my board, and then I got that first deal. And then when I made that first deal, I got that first $10,000 check. Like I said, it all changed. Once I deposited that check, I realized that this check didn't happen right now, but this happened the year plus before then. that all those thoughts of me self-correcting myself and me facing my fear and me failing forward allow that check to happen. And I really realized that I could probably do this easier if I had a chance to think my way through. And it was a hard time for me, Jenny. I can't lie. It was like, you know.
Yeah, and I know your first check stories already is pretty intense. For those of you who are watching who've heard Elijah's first check story, he's very descriptive. He remembers every piece of that story and he explains it in a really, really funny way. So we're probably gonna have to share that a little bit more. But I do want to get into I mean, you really shared some key things there about the rubber band thing, and I think what I mean, I know that that's something like in Tony Robbins, or like there's a lot of ways. We're not psychologists and we're not mindset gurus, so what we're not here to do is to just give you guys some inspirational pitch. What we want to do is we want you to acknowledge and become aware of how fear might be showing up in your confidence when you're talking to sellers, in the opportunities that you're willing to go after, because we know and we see that there is so much of that in the industry. When people are getting started, no one's talking about the overcoming this specific fear of not being enough, not feeling like you know everything, not feeling like you can deliver, and not feeling like you can become the trusted advisor for someone else and be able to get paid what you're worth. And so 17 years in for Elijah now, from $10,000 check that took him a year to get, to now being able to close on 100,000 one deal. Not we have other deals that we close on we don't talk about, but we know how important it is to share with other people what's possible, because right now we're in a pandemic, there's a lot going on, and people need to know that this is out there and it's available for you when you become a trusted advisor. But guess what? It's not going to be just that easy, right? We're not saying it's going to be easy. It is very simple, but it requires you to overcome the fear that you're not enough or that you can't help these people, and to start failing forward. And the way you go about that is becoming aware of what those thoughts are, becoming aware of when you feel like you're not putting it all in and what's coming up for you, and then doing it anyways. So, still picking up the phone, still sticking to making those calls, doing your driving for dollars, whatever it is that you're doing, still continue to do that, knowing that on the other side of that, is the reward. It is these checks that we were showing you. So we closed 100,000 on this check. Elijah, could we just talk about why we're talking about overcoming fear and how that showed up in this specific deal briefly?
Yeah, sure. No, and I think, you really bring it home together, because, like I said, the $100,000 deal, although yes, I've been doing it for 17 years, it's all good, sounds great. It really started from back me correcting myself, correcting my program back then. If I didn't do that back then, this wouldn't even be possible. All right, and so understanding that, self-assessing yourself, understanding that, hey, if I keep taking action, I'm creating muscle memory. Out of that muscle memory, it's going to create an automatic response of, hey, I'm able to do this. The reason why Steph Curry can hit 105 three-pointers during practice is because he took hundreds of thousands of shots for him to be able to hit 105 in a row. That's how you have to kind of think about your skill set, right? As you take action, as you fail forward, you are building that muscle memory. Now, as you get that muscle memory, you start creating that confidence. Now, once you implement this trusted advisor technique that we teach with a lot of our fire damage students, this allows you to not only maintain confidence, but allows you to hold leadership with your clients so that you're able to get these deals down the road. This is going to allow you to be able to, and that's the only reason why we got this deal, is because we applied the trusted advisor approach. And I wouldn't apply the trusted advisor approach if I didn't have confidence. My confidence wouldn't be here if I didn't build my muscle memory by failing forward hundreds of times, hundreds of calls, hundreds of no's, still holding a high level of who I am, high level of the thoughts I'm having of myself, regardless of the outcome. Regardless of the outcome, you still got to hold a high level value of yourself, because if you don't, negative thoughts lead back to the fear, leads back to the doubt, and then now you start self-sabotaging stuff, and then you look up, this stuff doesn't work. These deals don't happen. Those are just gurus making those checks. No. Me and Jenny, we're just regular, we're ordinary people and figuring out how to do some extraordinary things. And if we can do it, you can absolutely do it. So let's get into this. So trusted advisor approach is something that you want to be able to do. If you take a trusted advisor, this lady who I'm talking to, this is from over our rep followed up for 2 years ago. Her husband passed away. Feisty Italian lady from Pittsburgh. She's just really aggressive, right? And because this is properties in $500,000-$600,000 price point, back when I was younger, I was petrified to deal with anybody who had over 100,000 because I'm like, well, I can deal with properties in the hood because I'm a minority. They're going to be cool. But if I start dealing with non-minorities in higher dollar amounts, they're going to know. They're going to know I don't know what I'm doing. They're not going to trust me, and all that old programming would start running. Well, because I was able to overcome that with some of the tools we've shared with you today, I was able to operate with a high level of confidence, and me and Jenny were able to meet with her and talk with her. After a year of follow-ups, we were able to go and meet with her. This is a year ago. So my acquisition guys were making calls. Her husband passed away. She's looking at downsize. Then we end up after talking with her, we finally got a number that we got to agree to. I worked my trusted advisor approach, where I empathize with her, I educated her on her other options, and then I started empowering her of how I can help make things easier. All right. And so what I did was I used some of the things that at first she's like, no, I don't know if I really want to sell. And I used this technique in my Master the Art of the No, right, my ebook. It's called Absorb, Recognize, Continue. And so I listened to it. I'm like, absorb. I know you may not want to sell now, and I understand that you do want to sell eventually. Well, let me ask you this question: what if you weren't able to make this easy for you? What would that look like? And so, because I had her start exploring a new possibility, she's like, well, I got all these tools. I got all these antiques and items here. She realized that, hey, there might be another option. She thought she had to put these all in storage herself. She's like, well, I don't have any of my kids with me. Who's going to do this? How this is going to happen? And so what we end up doing, I started walking her through the process. I walked her through that, hey, I could have some day labor guys box everything up for you. I could go ahead and put this in place. Real quickly before I finish the story how this happened. If you guys want the ebook Master Art of No, and it also has the audio book with it, put hashtag ebook in the comments if you want my free Master Art of No, 6 techniques so you can overcome the treacherous no. Like I said, by you overcoming no's, it allows you to fail forward. That builds up that muscle memory so you can close more deals. All right. So make sure you do a hashtag ebook. All right. So told her I can help her get everything boxed up that reduces stress and relief for her. Then she's like, well, stuff I don't want to bring. I'm like, great, I'll bring my estate sale lady over here. And what she's going to do, she's going to price out and see what's really possible there. Long story short, I was able to bring a estate lady. I was able to bring some movers, and was going to help her get set up at her daughter's house. Well, right before we was ready to move forward, boom, she came down with cancer. And so we're like, whoa, let's put everything on hold. Hey, I empathize with her. I educated her on what some other options are and empowered her that, hey, when you're ready, I'll be here. She didn't want to sell the property. The whole deal went on hold. She went through chemo. She beat cancer. So shout out to our lady, Gianna, right, for beating cancer. God bless her. But then guess what? Out of all the people she called, guess who she ended up calling back? Me and Jennifer. Why did she call us back? She's getting calls. We're in the land of the gurus. So she's getting 100 calls a day on her property.
Write it in the comments, you guys. Why do you think we got the call back?
Yeah, why do you think they called us back? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, throw it in the comments. Why do you think she ended up giving us a call back? What was it? What was it that allowed her to call us back when she could call anybody else? Or she could just took one of the phone calls, start working with somebody new if she wanted to. It's right there. Why do you think that was? Okay. All right. Good. All right. So I'll break it down for you. The reason why she called us back is because of our trusted advisor approach. When you use this trusted advisor approach and you have the confidence to fail forward, what happens is very, very simple. Very simple, is that when they trust you, you're more valuable than just money. You are going to get invited to the carne asadas, to the barbecue. They're going to want to work with you, and they don't want to work with anybody else. And that's exactly what she said. She said, Elijah, guess what? I want to work with you because your future fiance. I only trust you both. I only believe in what you're doing because of Corona. I don't want a bunch of people coming in here. And you explain to me what we're able to do. Can you still do everything you said you could do 9 months ago? I want to do that. But I want more money though, because the market went up over 9 months. So long story short, was able to get it for like what, 525,000, and like I called one lady within 10 minutes, sold it for 625,000 plus my $100 earnest money back. So within 10 minutes, maybe a total of 20 hours total, Jennifer and I make $100,000 on this one deal without using a penny of our own money. However, we use these techniques. We use the trust advisor approach, and this $100,000 would not have been made if I didn't go back and fail forward to conquer my fear. I would have been afraid to even approach the seller, to even talk to her, make offers, to even talk to her about it if I was still in that negative self-defeating thoughts, that fear that people would know I can't do the deal. They know I don't have the money for it. What if they found out I was assigning it? What happens then? That if I let that fear stop me, this would never happen. You know what I'm saying, Jenny?
100%. I'm so glad we share. We always want to take our moments where we are winning to talk about when we're not, because this is the big thing we see in the industry, is that everyone wants to talk about when they're winning, but this type of business is not as consistent as we like it to be, depending on the market, depending on who you're working with. There's so many variables in this business. Okay. So we want to prepare you guys to understand that failing forward is part of the process. And if you're willing to take yourself on, and if you're willing to stand up, for yourself and for other people and help them in crisis and turn crisis into opportunity, the way we are able to do it with our fire damage sellers, as well as, in this case with this seller, when you provide so much value, then it's undeniable. And your rewards are, for us, our reward is that we get to not only feed our families, but we get to share this knowledge with you guys, so that you are out there who's listening, who doesn't think that you have what it takes, who doesn't, but you haven't tried it either, right? That person, that to me is like the worst thing ever, because I know how important it is for us. I know how, for me, being able to hire my mom, who was a single mom, took care of me, worked 20 years at a warehouse, busted her butt all that time, to now be able to hire her so she could work with me and have no worry free, and is isolated from what is happening a lot in the world right now. I know how important that is for me, and I know how important that could be for you. If you just get started and start really failing forward, what does that look like? That looks like taking actual calls. That looks like not starting something and then stopping something a week after, not buying that next course, or buying a course and then saying it doesn't work, without going through that field and that uncomfort that it takes for you to be successful. Elijah didn't get paid $100,000 by, playing any type of tricks on people. If you guys watch Elijah at the Closer Olympics, you will see that he's very transparent, always open, always honest, and always over delivering on the phone, both in person and for our sellers. So when you step into that frequency, and you just wake up every morning and you tell yourself, I'm going to go out and be a trusted advisor. And that's what we have, our pre-call affirmations. If you guys want our pre-call affirmations, make sure you guys, I think all you have to do is text 59224.
Text Elijah to 59224.
And part of that, one of the first is, I am a trusted advisor, meaning I can help people who are in a tough situation. I can help them get from A to B. And, in the meantime, you can get paid and you can provide financial freedom for your family. You can just ask yourself, how many deals does it take for you to be able to create enough evidence for you not to fear that any longer? So the pre-call affirmations, failing forward, that's what we want to talk about when it comes to what does it take to getting or closing a six-figure deal.
Yeah, and I think she's over here watching. She's showing you guys. Listen, there's so many reasons why to bet against yourself. There's so many reasons why you shouldn't be successful. But you have to ask yourself, and that's what I had to ask myself: is my fear of failure stronger than my desire to win? Once I realized my desire to win is bigger than my fear of failure, I don't care if they hang up on me. I don't care if something doesn't work out in a deal. I realize, you know what? By the time I'm 55, I want to own my own island. How am I going to own my own island? But I can't take this one no here. I'm gonna self-sabotage myself. So once I made that commitment that, hey, these negative thoughts ain't staying in my head, and once I made the chance, the shift of checking those thoughts, putting myself in a position to win, then that's when I started thinking, like, how do winners win? What do they think about? What are they reading? What are they listening? And that's when I really started getting on my mindset mastery, started doing my guaranteed threes, started doing my vision boards, started doing my affirmations, and really started speaking power to myself, because I realized nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save you. If you don't start with yourself first, if you don't say, hey, I deserve this. I deserve to have the best families. I deserve to have the best of life. My kids, my legacy is supposed to be this way, and I demand more of myself. And you start filling your thoughts with that, virtually why it's not going to work out, why it's too hard, it's too saturated, none of these gurus work. When you shift that thought, you shift your expectation of yourself, and then you start changing the story that you tell yourself daily. Watch what starts manifesting to you. Watch what starts attracting to you. Please don't think this $100,000 came because it's one deal. Although we got this as one deal, this came from years of reprogramming myself, years of failing forward, years of taking hundreds of no's to allow me to get to a couple quality yeses. So if that's something, if you're committed to failing forward, I want you to put three in it. I want you to put three in the comment box. Put three in the comment box if you're committed to failing forward to conquering your fear. Put three in the comment box. Let me see who you guys have. Let me know who's with me, who's been willing to fail their way into success. The best and most successful people, guess what? Very few people are one-time heroes, right? Most people fail tremendously, years after years, until one day, boom, a break. There you go. Yup. Put three in the chat box if you committed to failing your way to success. Yup, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. Fail forward to conquer your fears. Like I said, the best way, they know when you're a little kid, right? I'm not gonna lie. My mom is very religious, very spiritual lady. Shout out to you, Mom. I know you be watching these. Love you, dear. All right, Trinidad and shout out. So, what she did, my mom would go pray and pray over have people come to the house, and she'll pray over people, and then I don't know what religion you believe in, but she'll cast evil spirits out of people. And so as a little kid, I gotta go to school. I'm hearing these things made me really scared at that time, right? And so I'm scared that there's demons in the house. I'm scared that there's a boogeyman underneath my bed. So I would pee the bed until I'm 9, 10 years old. Don't be telling, don't be making fun of me, y'all. All right. So I'm 9 years old, peeing the bed, and I'm just gonna be transparent with you guys, right? Because of the fear that if I put my foot down, a demon or the boogeyman will grab me and take me with them, and then I might be, so who knows where I'm going to be. So I'm not going to get in bed until the sunlight comes out. Well, after getting a couple whoopings, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to have to fear that fear. Because that fear of my mom whooping or the fear of the boogeyman getting me, I can't be afraid of them both. And I'm more afraid of my mom because that happens daily. So what I did, took a flashlight with me. And then one day, I looked under the bed and I saw, guess what? There ain't no boogeyman. Put my foot down, went to the bathroom, nothing came and got me. Next day, did it again, nothing came and got me. Next day, did it again, nothing came and got me. So I stopped peeing the bed. I think the fastest way to conquer your fear is to face it right, looking right in the face and realize that giant ain't nothing but a little midget that you can overcome, you can stop it. But you will never conquer your fear if you're not willing to face it. So please take this time that me and Jenny share with you. Take my peeing in bed story, the $100,000 check story. Take these and understand that, hey, if we can do it, you can do it. Are you failing your way forward? It's absolutely possible. And just know that it all starts with your thoughts. If you think you can't, you will. If you think you can't, you'll find an excuse and you'll allow that boogeyman to get bigger and bigger and bigger for you.
Yeah. We obviously want to leave you guys with some gems. If you're in our group or on Elijah's page, make sure in the comments you guys are writing hashtag ebooks so you can get the Master the Art of the No. Elijah, that's Elijah's ebook where he talks about the mindset of how you approach conversations. And one of the things is when it comes to no's, taking multiple no's. Now, I was just out in Seattle this weekend with my girlfriends. It was a last minute trip, and I'm so used to being with Elijah that, well, let's say we go to a dinner or we catch whatever it is, if we are out and about. I'm now so used to the fact that we don't ever like take the first no. Let's say you're looking for a reservation, or we all have those moments where we're asking for something. And I found myself having these conversations where I'm trying to find reservations or I'm trying to find a table. And at first I took like one no, or I took like probably like one or two no's, and it was haunting me, you guys. So I'm telling you, like, I was not okay with it. So the rest of the trip, I was committed that I would take at least 3 no's, at least. That's the least I could do. And because of that, we were able to get, faster seating at a restaurant. I was able to get my girlfriend a whole VIP section for her birthday. I was using a lot of these tips in order to get what we wanted, because I realized that most people are not used to, having someone so persistent and I was doing it with in a very happy attitude. Like, come on, what can you do? Like, what can you do for me? I have a birthday girl here. What can we work out? Tell me. And so I had people calling me back, working to make our weekend happen. And the reason I share that is because this is a mindset. This is a mindset that when we step into any room, regardless of what it is that you're looking to do, you have to be willing to see yourself bigger and better and have this energy that's magnetic, and that you have to be persistent so you can get what you want. And whether it's a table at a restaurant when you're at a birthday dinner, or a 6-figure deal, it really starts with mastering the art of the no, because we're so afraid of the word no. We have this mindset, we're not good enough. Yeah, we're not good enough. They're going to tell me no. Let me just get what I'm, this is what I'm used to. And that's just not the way to live. That's not what you deserve. That's not what your family deserves. And we really, really want to share that with you guys. So make sure you guys get your copy of the Master the Art of the No ebook. Start implementing that to your everyday life, to your calls, and really start taking pride of failing forward through every call, because that's next 6-figure deal might be, it doesn't have to be 17 years in, the way it's been for Elijah. And he's had a few 6-figure deals before this one.
Sure.
But the idea is that the big wins come from the small wins, from the small failures that you're willing to overcome.
Yeah, and once you shift your relationship with failure, instead failure is success is an absence of failure. Success is failure is part of success. And understand each failure is really just an opportunity for correction. There's a lesson to be learned there. Either it's a lesson or it's a blessing. And understand those lessons lead to future blessings by you absolutely absorbing that no, absorbing that fear, and still forcing yourself through that. Like, it's easy to do, and it's easier not to do. This is not what society tells you. Society says, they tell you no, don't do it. If you fear this, it's dangerous, stay away. Well, most of the danger is very real, all right? Fear usually isn't. Fear is false evidence appearing real. The fear that you feel is usually not real. And that's why I just want to make sure you guys see it. And like I say, it worked for me. I'm just sharing stuff that I tell myself, I tell the homies, I tell our students, it works, but it won't work if you don't put in the work, all right? So we just want to leave that with you guys. We'll leave that in your spirit. Make sure you guys get Master the Art of the No, get the ebook, and so you guys put yourself in a position. I absolutely appreciate you guys. Thank you guys all for reaching out. Like I said, the $100,000 deal is just evidence of that. Everything we share with you, it works. It's not working in a great market. In the middle of the road, it can still work too. So make sure if you're not part of the Fire Damage Profits, be a part of the Facebook group, Fire Damage Profits. And we'll see you guys on the next one. As me and Jenny like to say, each one reach one. Go ahead and read today. Be a blessing to someone. Salute. Bye.